Hey there, wrestling fans. Welcome to No Wrestling in the House. I am Dan the Man Almeida. I am here, as always, joined with King Vic. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, Daniel. How you doing?
I'm having a lot of fun recording this wrestling podcast made by a family, but not made for families, because we curse sometimes.
Oh, shut up.
There we go. And you know what? I've noticed we're kind of on a bi-weekly thing.
I think we're back on track.
Perfect.
Starting now.
There we go.
But yeah, it's been a pretty eventful week, Daniel. And,
so a lot to think about and a lot for us to discuss.
Yeah, lots going on right now.
Perfect.
Interesting week because both, I feel like almost every TV show was better than Battleground this week. So,
including the SmackDown after.
Yeah, it was insane, but yeah.
For goodness sake. So let's talk about Battleground.
Really disappointed. I think I was hoping they'd prove me wrong in the last podcast, saying that I wasn't happy about the card, and I wasn't happy with the outcomes or the matches in general.
Yeah, even the matches that I said were like just gonna be sure winners, sure good, just weren't as spectacular as I would have hoped.
Well, if we're talking about AJ and Kevin Owens, I think just the ending really hurt it, and you kind of just forget. When I saw the ending, I kind of forgot about the whole match and just focused on the ending, which is shameful. But with their last match, wasn't them when AJ had his foot stuck in the commentator table.
Absolutely, very clever.
The clever finishes or the different type of finishes.
Backlash.
You already used one of them, right? You know what I mean? And that was kind of new or different. So this one was just, and it was confusing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Nobody ever likes those kind of like up in the air, what just happened thing. You kind of want somebody to clarify it right away, right? Mm-hmm. So like when there's double pins or whatever, Shane can come out and be like, no, let's start it again or whatever. But this just left everybody with a giant question mark. So it hurt the match. So personally, I don't know if that was a good match or not. I don't even know because the ending just soured it for me.
And you know what? There have been tweets all about this, and I would love to quote. And but we should probably go through the card and talk about what we thought overall. Or do you want to just kind of spitball just like what are like the most prevalent memories?
If we had recorded this right now, the night of, we can go
through the card
match. But I think most people already, it's set in. We've already moved past it. We're building towards SummerSlam.
Perfect.
So what are some of the key highlights or low points?
Well, obviously a very large, very huge highlight would be the Great Khali entering in to secure the victory with Jinder Mahal and him retaining.
I think just the fact that he wasn't, I don't know if he's going to be involved at all, anything. Like he wasn't there on Tuesday, so that was a good thing. I think if that is the case, then that was a successful ending. That was good. It was unexpected.
It was very unexpected.
And as long as it, I heard there was rumors about Jinder and Khali tagging up. Nope. As long as that doesn't happen, I'm happy with that.
Or could you imagine Khali betraying Jinder and becoming world champion once again?
Oh no,
that would be nuts.
Turned his back on India.
Goodness. But you know what? Was the
match a highlight for you?
The only problem with I didn't remember how much I hated the Punjabi prison match because dude, like, what's with, like, asking the refs to open up and that stuff? I don't remember that.
Any of that, eh?
I must have been too young.
You know what? There has only been two.
Yeah.
The second one, we pretty much had stopped watching wrestling.
Yeah, at that
point.
Yeah.
It was Batista and Khali or whatever. And, I mean, Khali's in it. So, I think just at the sound of the ring bell, we knew that this one was probably going to be the best Punjabi prison match.
Yeah.
But that wasn't saying much.
Yeah.
Type of deal, right?
Exactly.
And the first one was supposed to be Khali, but, he was pulled out of the match, which hurt it because of the storyline. And she's like, oh, well, here's Big Show, right? It was Taker and Big Show. And I watched that in the theaters.
Yes.
And that was a terrible match.
Good time.
So yeah, the stipulation, now you know it. I knew it kind of going into this. It's very silly.
Yeah. I do like that the Bollywood boys, they came in once they got to the second layer of that. They were out of the ring. I'm enjoying the fact that they're always interfering.
They are the best.
They're the only reason why I'm like the only good thing about that whole mix up right now. As we commented before, we're not really big fans of Jinder Mahal as a character. Probably he's getting better as a wrestler, and I think he has potential.
Well, I would notice this. We'll get into it later because of the build, but the segment with him and Cena didn't really involve. You look at me with discrimination.
Yeah,
it didn't. Which I thought as soon as Cena came out, I thought that was going to be it right away. Because
he literally just walked out of a flag match,
right? So really worried about that, and it didn't come up in the promo. So I'm happy about that. But yeah, you know what? The Singh brothers, is the best part. Has been the best part of all 3 matches. It sucks because of how much they rely on them. It's not a simple interference. It's a full-blown 10-15 minutes of these guys being involved in the matches, which is... It's got to hurt Jinder way more than it would a typical heel. Like, a heel is a heel, in a stable, but... Holy gee, 10 minutes of these guys in each of the matches is kind of interesting. It's
and luckily they're very athletic themselves.
Well, they definitely don't have to take a pounding.
Yeah, goodness. They're acrobatic more like it.
Or, just the ability to go through a table is unreal. Kudos.
Almost give yourself a concussion in the process, or be given a concussion. No, they did great. Again, I would like if Jinder kind of more talked about that. Like, you guys think I don't earn this championship. Well, you don't. Like, heels are oblivious sometimes. Or heels think that what they're doing is the right thing because it's them twisting the rules.
They'll do whatever they can.
Yeah. Like, oh man, that reminds me of actually Jim Cornette, like an old school promo he did for the Midnight Express, is saying like, you're just mad because you didn't think about it.
Yeah.
So good old WCW way back in the day, but that match was surprisingly a little better. Not great.
Yes.
I wouldn't say necessarily a pretty good match, but better than it was entertaining. Very entertaining. Yeah.
Most people have written it off.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the lowest point of the card of the entire event. It was one of the upper parts, in my opinion, to a pretty shitty event.
Yeah.
So the match itself, the fighting, the brutality was good. The stipulation and the setup of the ring, the cage itself, the prison itself, bad.
Yeah, between this and say Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman, that ambulance match from the last pay-per-view.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
That
it's night and day. I want to give credit to Jinder and Randy because Randy, I never like him as a babyface.
Yeah,
but story-wise, they told a really hardcore story in that. They did. When Randy, they were hitting each other pretty hard with those kendo sticks. They were, Jinder was being a sly heel, and Randy was, every time he got his hands on him was good. So kudos to them. They worked with what they could.
Yeah.
And unfortunately the stipulation hurt the match, but it was not the low point of the pay-per-view, in my opinion.
I think disappointment was the low point. Because Shinsuke Nakamura also had a match.
Yes. And ended in
so him, Baron Corbin, ending in disqualification, that's probably the worst Shinsuke match I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's just a tragedy. Now,
to the main roster.
I was not enjoying that. What were your thoughts?
Again, terrible ending. So many matches are kind of getting to the point where the ending will completely ruin. Like, we know the countouts, are going to happen, but I feel like, I don't know, is it just maybe there's just more pay-per-views and it's coming a little bit more obvious. That's why. But are you noticing a pay-per-view, one match at pay-per-view is having a count-out finish? Or something?
It's like, this should probably end in count-out.
Yeah, okay, this is so that we can drag it on another month. And it's just, okay, I get it. That works on SmackDown or whatever, and it works on the odd pay-per-view, especially since we're not paying it as a pay-per-view anymore. It's a subscription service. But if I had paid $60 for this, I would have been pissed.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Shinsuke, it's unfortunate because Baron Corbin's got such a bright future for him. He could lose his Mr. Money in the Bank. That's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's the heel.
Yeah.
He's gonna cash in when the champion's half dead anyways. That's
for sure.
And it's okay to lose to a man of Shinsuke's caliber. You want Shinsuke to be undefeated for a little while. He should be, but that I hate that doesn't count as because it's disqualification, so he technically won the match. But this early into Shinsuke's resume on the main roster hurts.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's
and this is all after hype of him looking at the United States Championship.
Yeah, and just kind of
I would have loved to have seen a win there, and then it carrying on with him taking on AJ Styles. Maybe that's too early. Maybe I'm too excited.
Maybe there's too much money in that.
Too much money, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. But SummerSlam is midway to WrestleMania. It is the second WrestleMania.
It
you
is.
know what I mean? It is the second biggest event. So, you know, that could happen there. It should, maybe. Know. But, you know, I get it. Give it time. Shinsuke's still fresh. There's still plenty of people for him to fight. You know what I mean? Before that dream match kind of happens, I guess. But overall, while it's fresh in my mind, the whole pay-per-view in general would get 2 waving flags out of 5.
Yeah.
Again, and that hurts coming off of Great Balls of Fire. I'd say probably like 4 out of Great Balls of Fire out of 5, right?
Yeah, it was not a bad
show. It was, you know, but any other, like, there's just so many. Okay, you know what? Sorry. So much negative. The New Day. Tag team stole the show.
Yes.
Awesome
absolutely.
Opening. Yeah, what are we thinking? I know.
That was such a great opening.
Xavier Woods deserved every moment of that. Because you know that so much of the New Day gimmick is, you know,
a big E
for him, though. But, like, you know, he did come up with a lot. Like, do you remember what he was initially given for the whole New Day gimmick, right? It was supposed to be much more serious.
Yeah, it was 3. It was people thought it was going to be the Nation of Domination because it was 3 black men complaining about their positions.
And then what he made it into and how popular they are, I think he deserves a lot of the credit.
For sure.
All 3 men do, but Xavier Woods, I feel like he's a bit of the creator. Like a lot more.
They trust him there.
Exactly.
They trust him.
To see him work as that hurting baby face throughout the whole match almost. You know, Kofi was on the outskirts for quite a bit. Mm-hmm. And for him to pick up the win was awesome. It was genuine emotion coming out of him when he picked up the win. That was the best match of the card. Mm-hmm. And a very good, well-deserved moment. A great title change.
Absolutely. And totally deserved. That and I want to talk a bit about Natty Neidhart.
Yes.
She is fine. Well, no, not finally. She's probably taken on for the title, of course, with Charlotte.
Yeah, so I did find out that she was a Divas champion.
Was she?
Apologies.
Yeah.
Yes, wow. It's terrible. I think during the event, I had told our nephew that she never won anything. But it almost feels that way, right?
Well, it's a Divas championship. Yeah. A lot of us kind of discount it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless it is like Nikki or AJ Lee or like Paige.
Yeah.
But other than that, not a lot of highlights there. Oh, Beth Phoenix was a Divas champion. Anywho, but yes,
she is probably
Natalya.
I did predict her. I think I did. So I think you did,
and that was a pretty good choice. And I was really happy about that turning out to be the number 1 contender. I'm really excited for that match.
All right, I think that's pretty much all we really need to hit on with some of the major highlights and low points. Unfortunately, like we had mentioned, a lot more low points than highlights.
Oh, well, okay. Do you want to just quickly talk about the fashion files for that day? Yeah. Nothing was resolved.
Yes, unfortunately. So when the Ascension had come out, I was like, you got to be kidding me.
It's a lie. But I did like them getting knocked out and being dragged away. I feel like they are just, I'm so happy that they're having fun with it.
Yeah.
And
they are, it's legit funny.
It is.
It is. It's really funny. I actually genuinely laugh.
Yeah. And when it sometimes gets too hokey, you just like love it for them.
Yeah,
the fact that they're trying.
It's going to be funny next week.
Yeah. Too, so we'll see how that, I don't think it end up resolving itself on SmackDown.
Yeah, I don't think anything happened on SmackDown with them.
No, I don't. I do not remember.
Missing, yeah.
Are they? But yeah, then let's carry on to maybe Raw, or do you want?
Well, what's going on? Let's just,
let's
what I mean. By the time we were recording this to Sunday, Raw and SmackDown is coming tomorrow, so I think we got a lot to look forward to. The main event is official for SummerSlam. Obviously, that's definitely the last match on the card for SummerSlam.
Yeah, for sure.
Huge fatal 4-way match. How do you feel?
I'm really excited, and what's really awesome about that is that it could go really any other way. Like
any of the 4 men.
Any of the 4 men.
Brock's scheduled for the pay-per-view after No Mercy, which is going to be a Raw event this year. Mm-hmm. The next Raw pay-per-view after SummerSlam, and Brock is scheduled to be there, so Brock could still be champion.
Yeah, you never know. And of course, Braun being, that would be a rocket ship, and I can't see it going on anyone better right now. Joe, that would be almost as destructive as Brock, and full time.
Yeah.
And Roman, I don't see it going on Roman just because right now the heat is probably still too simmering. And you probably want to save that for Mania anywho.
No, but still.
But he in the fairness of the story.
It can go anyway.
Yeah.
And, couldn't have put a more dominant 4.
Yeah, for sure.
On the Raw roster, at least, in a match. You know what I mean? So I'm happy with that. I'm excited for it. Seems like Raw and SmackDown seem to really be pushing. We got some big matches announced for the next 2 days. How do you feel about Shinsuke versus John Cena scheduled for SmackDown, #1 contendership match?
You know what's incredible about that match is, first off, like, it probably wouldn't have been the first match for me to want to see. Like, when I heard Shinsuke Nakamura was going to be making it stateside. But definitely it's an exciting one. Huge names, of course. And, like, Shinsuke has a history of fighting big guys. Yeah. Like Brock Lesnar back in Japan. And so I'm going to just see this I see this becoming a really good match. But it's going to end in interference.
Yeah. So do you even think the match is really going to get going?
I think.
Do you want it to get going? It's such a high caliber match. You kind of almost don't want it to, right?
Yeah.
I personally don't want it to.
For sure.
It's SmackDown, like, it's TV. I would love to see it. I'm sure the live audience is going to be insane to see it. Mm-hmm. But I hope it doesn't really get going. That's a big money match. You know what I mean? That's something you could... Especially, like, you want to have, like, a lot of value in the shows because ratings, right? But at the same time, pay-per-views are really memorable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's a match that needs to highlight a pay-per-view.
For sure.
But prediction, Baron Corbin interferes.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Yeah. Exactly. That would only make sense. I don't see Jinder interfering. Because there's no real stake for him to interfere. Like,
that was a really weird way, too, when he came out to demand an opponent.
Yeah.
And I think during his Punjabi speech,
he said,
I swear, Johnson. Yeah,
he did.
I had heard it. Okay, yeah.
And it's funny because my stream was slightly behind, as you know, because I'm watching from an internet stream. You're watching from cable.
Yeah.
And he said Super Cena.
Yeah.
And I was like... Yeah. Wait, first off, you know Punjabi. Yeah. You're fluent in it enough that you can tell me what it translated to. But then I realized John Cena were to come out, and he would have called himself Super Cena.
Self-aware John Cena.
It's now official. It's canon. One of his official names is Super Cena.
Yeah, but it's, you know what? And it goes to show you the evolution of the character of where he is now. He is Super Cena. He knows it.
And there's I almost really liked it just because he acknowledged, I'm going to beat you, and I'm taking that title. Like, just fun fact, peace. Like, didn't say anything about this crowd, this is where I'm from, I'm not leaving, nothing like that. No, it's just...
Plain out, like, here, I'm just going to come out and do it. Yeah.
The title is on your waist, and it will be gone.
And you know what? John Cena usually, lately, has been bringing the heat. Very disappointed in Battleground. Like I said, you knew that no matter how good the match would be, that
it's very hokey.
It would be hindered by the fact that somebody had to actually physically put a flag on a pole, on that little stand there. So he needs, I think he needs this, and Jinder definitely needs this because Jinder, he just went past a feud with Randy Orton. That is not a small name. You know what I mean? And now it's John Cena. And I personally hope John Cena does not win. I want to see John Cena's 17th title reign. So he's going to break Ric Flair's record, by the way. Everybody knows. He's going to break Ric Flair's record, Daniel. Don't question it. He's going to do it. And rightfully so. Okay? I'm sorry. It's John friggin' Cena. Like, as much as we're only mad because... There was nobody, whether it's nobody's fault or the company's fault, there was nobody really on his level during the time. That's why we got Randy Orton versus John Cena 12 times or whatever it was, right? But he deserves it, man. He does. He really does.
It makes sense. And there's probably, just at that high up, very loyal to the company. Clearly he's going to be there for a while, even when he does step back and maybe do movies in a similar vein of The Rock. He did become the face of the company after Stone Cold. Yeah. And there was a lot of back and forth between who could have been Brock Lesnar, Batista, some people, but John Cena is the face of WWE and still is, and there's nobody throwing him off just yet. Yeah. They're positioning
when there was the whole rise of I don't know what you want to call it, the independents. I don't know, like
the super independents.
Yeah, once that started to really rise and WWE's performances started to get questioned, you know what I mean? Like they're still in an old style of wrestling. John Cena evolved.
Oh, for sure.
The matches he was putting on, lately, and with AJ Styles, and he's gotten with Kevin Owens, he's gotten so much better.
Yeah.
When he was getting those "you can't wrestle" chants, and they were legit. You can't, every time he wrestled, "you can't wrestle" chants.
Yeah.
Because they thought it was just the same old.
Yeah, 5 moves of death.
Yeah,
5 moves of death.
But no, he evolved. You know what I mean? He still got the 5 moves of death, but there's a whole lot of cool moves in between.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we both noticed it. And I think that Royal Rumble match he had with AJ Styles, that was just, that was beautiful. Like, that was art. Mm-hmm. And it makes me almost want to look back at a lot of really old John Cena. I want to see John Cena versus HBK again. Maybe I don't remember that match as well as I wish I did.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to see how that one is. How are you feeling about what's going to be the main event of SmackDown next week? Sorry, I'm going blank. Is it going to be Shinsuke Nakamura?
Oh, I'd assume so. The two big matches you got going on for SmackDown are Shinsuke and John Cena, and another AJ Styles, Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
This past week was again the title flip-flopped.
Yeah. Do you think he was actually not supposed to lose at Battleground?
I think AJ was. Yeah. AJ was supposed to win.
Oh, yeah?
I'm thinking as soon as I saw Jericho make his return, that was the reason why AJ lost, to kind of set up that triple threat match, which was amazing, by the way.
It was really good.
Yeah. So I think that's why he lost, because then he gets his rematch clause. And Jericho never got a rematch, and he made a return. So, hey, we just set up a must-watch main event for SmackDown. So
that triple threat was fantastic.
Yes.
I texted my buddy Kyle, and I was just like, Kyle, I think SmackDown got its mojo back.
Yeah.
I think they're both great.
Yeah.
And Mojo Rawley is still a part of SmackDown. But I think SmackDown is just a superior show, and I think it's getting it back. Because it was kind of with Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton before they, punched them old people.
Yeah.
It was getting into that terrible lull where like both it and Raw were just bad.
Yeah.
Raw is picking up too. I'm excited about Samoa Joe being in the top of that card. Like. And even him losing the last pay-per-view, clearly he's still a very exciting piece of the whole puzzle going on there. So, man, SummerSlam
is shaping up to be what we expect. But remember, I did mention that I thought SummerSlam would be the show of multi-man matches.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know, I personally think it's going to be. Because there's even... Well, how do you feel about the women's title picture? Here we go.
In Raw?
Both women's main events have been set. Mm-hmm. You got Natalya, of course, which we touched on. Natalya versus Naomi. Mm-hmm. We had talked about Naomi not having quite the champion's effect because, pay-per-views, she's gone a couple of pay-per-views not even defending it. Yeah. And when she did, it was Lana. Again, sorry, but hey. And, this is a good chance for both of them to do some good work together. I think it could be really good.
You can trust that Natalya is going to make Naomi look like pure gold, and Naomi's already not bad.
She's athletic and she can go. So,
but like,
Natalya's going to bring more of a technical style to it. So that's going to be good. And the other one that was made on Monday was Alexa Bliss facing Bayley.
Bayley
surprisingly beat Sasha Banks.
I know you were upset about that.
I was upset. I wanted Sasha to win because, at Great Balls of Fire, it was a count-out victory. I was thinking, okay, that's to, here we go, to postpone it for another month. Mm-hmm. And now Sasha's not involved. Unless somehow it becomes a triple threat, like I said. Mm-hmm. I think SummerSlam is going to be multi-match mania. Yeah. Multi-man match mania, yeah. And, Bayley, this is a good chance for her to rejuvenate herself. I think that this is a way to get Bayley rolling again. Yeah. And I think this is going to lead to a Sasha heel turn.
Oh, a Sasha heel.
Yes. Sasha.
I think we were talking about that a while ago. And never
a while ago, and I think SummerSlam, Brooklyn of all places, is the place for Sasha to turn heel on Bayley. Yeah. Specifically those two, you know what I mean? To lead to something for them going. Keep the belt on Alexa. You know what I mean?
I think there was that stuff boiling up with Nia Jax. It seems like they're friends again. It's kind of weird. But yeah, I could see Nia Jax becoming champion, being a dominant champion. Yeah. But you still have that story with Bayley and Sasha, which I think will be excellent. And I think it'll make Bayley a far more exciting character too. Because
Sasha brings out the best in Bayley, at least.
Do you remember the rumors of Bayley supposedly starting like the characters of Bayley and Corey Graves were supposed to get into a romantic relationship?
I have no idea about this.
That was a rumor. I guess they decided that was just absurd, so they just didn't want to do it.
Well, Kurt Angle's son is Jason Jordan. There you go. There's another subject. Quite a bit of attention on that was on Monday.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't talked about it already.
Yeah, you had the debut, the Raw debut. Sorry, the Raw debut. Your thoughts? For me, it's a very low point of this week.
I think we were talking about it before. Yeah. I think Jason Jordan, prior to the news, prior to Maury, he was cutting decent promos. He was a part of American Alpha. I think he still brought that energy in the match.
You're talking that promo, aren't you, from last Monday? That interview, the one where the fans started to boo midway through. Yeah.
Wow.
Promo. It was too make up babyface. It was too. You couldn't have written a cornier promo for a guy.
I'm here with my dad. I'm so proud of my dad. I'm so proud of my son.
This is a great opportunity for me to. It's like, hold on, we've been watching you wrestle for quite a bit. Just touch on the fact that you're going to be the man on Raw.
Yeah,
stop talking like that. Yeah, you're gonna. I'm here to whip ass. I'm here to.
Yeah, he's like, I still have to prove myself. Is what he did mention in his promo on Monday, but. Even then, I did like the match. I did think whenever he takes off.
Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah, but he's a jobber, but he's a reliable one. He's consistent at losing. Yeah. But him taking off his.
Well, he was already doing that before.
Yeah, but it's glad he brought that energy again. Yeah. That he didn't try to keep it and almost be like Chad Gable, where he would be a little bit more of a. Scared and such. Not saying Chad Gable's scared, but he plays that different kind of baby face where he's not he's not monstrous, but rather he takes a beating.
Yeah.
So
where do you see it going? Do you see Jason Jordan on the SummerSlam card?
Probably. It wouldn't be outside of the question. Again, another maybe Kurt Hawkins again. But yeah, they can probably send him against. I don't know who's kind of a mid carder that can take the loss. Unfortunately, Dolph Ziggler is on SmackDown.
Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn. Wait, SmackDown.
Yeah. But I've been enjoying Sami Zayn versus Mike Kanellis.
Yeah. Tough. I don't know who I would lock him up with to win. You got. No, Elias Sampson. I think there's some good stuff happening.
No, he's doing too good right now.
Yeah, but Finn is probably moving on. No,
because their match was interrupted by Bray Wyatt. So, but I think he's clearly showing good upside entirely. So I wouldn't stop those wheels.
Yeah. So, one other thing I want to ask you about is we got a mini kind of half Shield reunion.
I've been liking this. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Seth. Yeah. I love Seth. We all do.
We wanted him to kind of... And this, I think, digging into his character again is the best part of what you could have done. Because that's what the WWE 24, rebuild, reclaim, all that jazz, that was what that was about. It's digging into this guy where you got to see his house and you'd be like, I was a big fan of RVD.
Yeah, because I love it personally when you have a wrestler that inside out is a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not to, there's some people who pick it up and just are amazing at it. I believe Big
AJ Styles even, yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, they weren't even really big wrestling fans.
Not big wrestling fans.
Seth Rollins is one of those, from the beginning of time, from the beginning of his, knowledge of knowing what this is, he's loved it, right? So, and I feel like those kind of bring out having that background, bring out the best in your character because you've imagined it your whole life.
Yeah.
What am I going to do when I make it, right? So, so where do you see this going? SummerSlam it might be a tag match, I assume, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do see maybe it ending up in a match between the two because of just misunderstanding. I don't believe there's going to be a full-out heel turn.
See, I'm hoping Dean does turn heel.
It would make sense.
I think he needs it.
And it would make sense that misunderstanding becomes a heel turn further along.
Yeah.
But I think it could start with a misunderstanding.
Yeah. But yeah, because Dean and Seth, I think one-on-one never gets old.
Yeah. They're great.
Put on magic, back when Seth was the heel. And I think it'd be interesting to watch them, but roles reversed. Mm-hmm. So that I do hope that it leads to a full-blown heel turn.
Yeah.
But Seth is reaching out that Shield fist pump, and Dean wasn't accepting it. Yeah. Walked away. So we'll see where it goes. The story is far from being over. I think could lead to some one-on-one.
And I'm glad they're not trying to find Roman to be in the middle of all this. No. He is securely in the reaching for that title and also dealing with Braun Strowman.
Yes,
which I love. So. Braun! Anyway, they released a shirt that simply just says Braun. Which is great. I think we covered pretty much everything. 205
we got
Live was
big
fun.
Week coming up. 205.
How was Vic? How is my friend Vic? He's the other commentator, not Corey Graves.
I'm sorry, buddy, if you're listening to this, but it's hard to listen to 205 Live. It seems like they're switching around announcers and ring personalities.
They're giving him a chance. He got called up from somewhere, I guess.
No, I can't personally take him. Especially next to Corey Graves,
who's just excellent.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like I watched the Table for Three with him on there, and
Lita and
him and Renee, and he just talks about. He says it's easy for him. Commentating, and rightfully so. Not to hate on anybody else, but you can tell it's legit easy for him because he's just being himself. Mm-hmm. So you need someone for him to rag on, but that could also if you listen to 205 Live, he'll rag on this Vic character guy, and the guy will just stay silent. And it's like, man, Corey's just twisting the knife, trying to get something out of you. But no, that shouldn't even be a subject on this podcast. I'm sorry.
It makes me miss Saxton.
Yeah, he does. He gets Saxton good. So that's funny.
And he sometimes retaliates. Mostly takes it, but it makes me miss him because he doesn't. I don't think he messed up anyone's name. Yeah. So. Yeah, no, but 205 Live was kind of fun. I remember I watched only the first part before I had to rush to work. But
the matches are actually pretty good. They got some stories finally branching out, so we'll see. Someone had mentioned, I think it was Bleacher Report, that Neville's character was getting a little old. I don't think so. I just think they need to give him a competition.
I would like to see him do a match outside of the Cruiserweight division. And not
there should be good point. I have not thought about that. There should be more of a let's forget this purple ring ropes all the time. There should be more of an integrated cruiserweight division into the Raw.
But here's the main roster, and that's why I like Akira Tozawa because Mr. Tozawa being a part of the tightest brand worldwide. Is great because he could then interact with a heavyweight or a former heavyweight.
But he's not. Nobody is. Just the manager himself.
Yeah, manager. That's what I meant.
No, but what I mean is why can't a cruiserweight fight somebody on the main roster?
In an exhibition. Yeah, and just call it an exhibition.
No, not even. It's just a match. That's all it is. You make random matches all the time. Yeah, but by separating it so much. It's the point where it's almost...
And it's a soft separation, let's be honest. Because other than 205 Live, it's a bathroom break. During the midway through Raw, they'll suddenly change the ropes and you're like, okay.
It's almost putting that stigma on it where us as a viewer, we're like, oh, okay, we can...
If it was a consistent hour of the first hour of Raw will be cruiserweights or the last hour of Raw will be cruiserweights, which I probably wouldn't do the last, then you would probably treat it with a little bit more respect. But because it's that soft... we're gonna go halfway
3 times a week.
Yeah, and you see all those busy bees turning up.
Yeah, it's brutal being there live. Remember?
They must be the hardest workers. Other than the performers themselves, the wrestlers. they're definitely
yeah. But you know, like we got a huge week set for us. There's a triple threat going on, probably main eventing Raw tomorrow. Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, and Samoa Joe. Brock Lesnar's scheduled to be in attendance, so it'd be nice to see if there's some interaction that happens between the four of them. I'm upset because we have two huge shows a week before they come to Toronto. So guys, let's just pull for us, guys. Please. Hope that they announce some crazy matches next week because we're going to be there. No resting
Tornado Tag Team Inferno match. Exploding C4.
Well, we had just got word that Brock Lesnar will be in Toronto, so we're excited about that, guys.
Yeah,
we're hoping to announce some good fun that we have there. So Daniel, I think we touched on pretty much everything. One thing that I wanted to kind of just talk about, just to get the ball rolling, is SummerSlam.
Yeah,
we talked a lot about the matches that are coming up and what's building up, but What do you remember about SummerSlam? It is now. Let me tell you right now. I have a couple of years experience on you.
Nice.
We're 5 years apart. SummerSlam, you know, as a wrestling fan, the Royal Rumble was always number 2 for most of us, right? I hope so. But SummerSlam has now become the definite number 2. It is.
Yeah.
Like it's the matches that they're the names that they're putting together and who they bring in for SummerSlam is quite amazing. I think that they can personally do small stadiums. For SummerSlam and still, you know, especially if it's like on the opposite side of the country, right? Like there's all these stadiums all over the place, right? So you can definitely, if it's on the opposite side of wherever WrestleMania is, I think that they can succeed with that. But what are some of your memories of SummerSlam, Daniel? Do you have many?
Well, first off, of course, which one was the one where The Undertaker fought the Imposter Taker?
Oh, Daniel's. I'm kidding. That's the bottom of everybody's. Like there's that, a few King Mabel matches, and like that's like the King bottom. Mabel. That is the bottom of most everybody's SummerSlam.
Yeah,
yes, and that was brutal because that was don't look back on that, Daniel. That was the main event of just the SummerSlam that just didn't need. I think that was the same SummerSlam Owen took on Brett.
Yeah, it was in the cage match. Yeah, that's an excellent match. Can I mention that match? I really like that match.
Yes.
I had the opportunity the other day to rewatch a lot of those Owen Hart. They're in that feud, and it's just that's a great match.
Yeah.
And then, good match. I would say that's not a personal memory, of course, because that happened, I believe, a year before I was born. So my memory's kind of foggy around there. I would say probably I remember distinctly, and I'm not saying this is a good thing, but I remember you taking myself and our cousin Justin to Boston Pizza to watch Legend versus Icon. Is that how it was billed? Yes, between Shawn Michaels and Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
And that's a good memory for me, not necessarily a good match because...
Yes, we all know how that match went.
Unless you enjoy Infamy.
Again, Michaels is not only the greatest wrestler of all time to me, but to many. Come on, like I'm not going to
I would even partially agree with you.
Everybody... Yeah. Come on, like most of performers say that he's the greatest of all time.
Even people who hate him.
But he is my favorite wrestler. He is, like, by far, you know...
Yeah.
Favorite wrestler, and that match is. This is how funny that match is because everybody like just YouTube it, right? If you haven't watched it, it's hilarious. Michael's overselling the story behind it. I don't need to get into all of it, right? Hogan refusing to continue the storyline. Michael's was fine, right? It was going to be a 2 match and then a rubber match, right? He was fine with losing the overall
face
feud.
versus face.
Yeah, as long as he had won one of the matches, right? But Hogan refused, and so you got to watch it. Overselling it completely. When we watched it, we were so young that I didn't see any of that overselling. All I just saw was
even younger, and I
was just saying like, "Go Michaels, go Michaels."
I was like, "Oh my God, Hogan is killing this man."
I was never a big Hogan fan. Like again, like I grew up in this NWO.
Different time.
Yeah, and I was a WWE guy.
Yeah,
I didn't watch WCW that much.
I know
definitely played WCW NWO Revenge.
Yeah,
but I wasn't a big WCW. I
still love that game.
But no, it wasn't overselling. That's what's hilarious. I didn't notice it, and we watched it. I didn't notice it until like a couple weeks ago when somebody was, you know, our buddy John was just like, "Hey, look at this! You don't remember this?" And I'm watching it. I'm seeing the overselling. I'm like, this is hilarious. How did I not notice this? Like, but no, to me,
How about a different memory for me? Was it SummerSlam that was Shawn Michaels versus Triple H?
Well,
yeah, that was the one where that was his first match back.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So that's again, you just stole my thunder. There you go. 2002.
Sorry, perfect.
That's the one I was going to say. Michaels making his return back. I was legit. I was the happiest kid in the world, and I didn't know what to expect because he came out in the jeans.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he was going to continue wrestling. So that would be mine. Thank you for stealing my thunder.
Oh.
But I'll say from that same
welcome.
WrestleMania, was main evented by Brock Lesnar versus The Rock.
Yeah.
Just, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. It was awesome. It was the kind of Rock handing over the torch to Brock. And there's so many guys. By all means, like, comment, and share some of yours.
Yes.
SummerSlam this year, I predict a huge one. Mm-hmm. I predict it to be a really fun one. Last year, how did you feel, Daniel, with Brock almost ending Orton's life on the mat?
I remember that clearly now.
And it goes to show you that wrestling doesn't need to be that realistic. Because it was uncomfortable.
Everyone.
But rewind a couple of years ago when Brock demolished Cena.
Oh, that was the best.
Wise, that was amazing, right? This was kind of like, did we just witness murder?
And I think, well, heck, that's a big part of wrestling where because the pay-per-views aren't like relegated to the PG of television, that they were able to do that.
Finally push things a little bit.
And like, I remember the discussion after that, which was like uncomfortability, even I believe What Culture just saying like, did they go too far? Yeah. And I was just like,
well, it's because it wasn't theatrical, right? It wasn't, blading was theatrical.
Yeah.
It was. They did it to add to the effect. Mm-hmm. This was a full-blown, his elbow did that to his head.
Yes.
There was no question about it. There was no like capsule of blood. That man's elbow almost split him in half. I like that. Yeah.
I like that. I like the surprise.
Yeah, it was shocking. It's a kind of conversation starter. And that's what WWE goes for most of the time, actually.
And let's hope the SummerSlam has more of that.
Absolutely, guys. Follow us still. No wrestling in the house. We're going to continue our SummerSlam road, right? And hopefully it's a
SummerSlamming, as we call it.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. Same time, same place. Don't tell them where we are, Daniel.
Coordinates. Thank you very much for listening. King, anything else to say? I like calling you King now. I'm going to call you King.
Dan the Man Almeida.
Thank you.
Here one-on-one with the great one.
Perfect. All right. For Dan the Man and the King here, have a lovely day, a lovely week. Enjoy Raw, enjoy SmackDown. Have a good one. Thank you.